Is it going yet? All right. Look at that textured title. It's like bumps where the words are. I hope this story sounds as incredible to you as it did to me. Pun fully intended against that speaker. That last video, by the way, was not a blooper. That was just me being completely vain. I was, kind of had a moment in the mirror where I looked at myself and I thought, you know what? I'm actually, pretty attractive. And so I thought that I'd share with the world. So, you know me. Okay. You know what else is just beautiful is this story. Wool. Wool. Try to say that in ASMR voice. By Hugh Howey. Still trying to get my ASMR voice down, and I feel that sometimes the less that I speak, the better. Unfortunately. Regardless, like I said, I hope that you enjoy an excerpt from the story that I'm about to read to you tonight. To Amber. How many pages does it take to get the actual story? I keep flipping and oh, you know what I mean? Am I talking to myself? Anyway, chapter 1. The children were playing while Holston climbed to his death. He could hear them squealing as only happy children do. While they thundered about frantically above, Holston took his time, each step methodical and ponderous, as he wound his way around and around the spiral staircase, his boots ringing out on metal treads. The treads, like his father's boots, showed no signs of wear. Paint clung to them in feeble chips. I said they showed no signs of wear. I don't know why I said that. Let me read that sentence again. Let me start over. Okay, I'm sorry. The treads, like his father's boots, showed signs of wear. Paint clung to them in feeble chips, mostly in the corners and undersides, where they were safe. Traffic elsewhere on the staircase sent dust shivering off in small clouds. Holston could feel the vibrations in the railing, which was worn down to the gleaming metal. That always amazed him, how centuries of bare palms and shuffling feet could wear down solid steel, one molecule at a time, he supposed. Each life might wear away a single layer, even as the silo wore away that life. Each step was slightly bowed from generations of traffic, the edge rounded down like a pouting lip. In the center, there was almost no trace of the small diamonds that once gave the treads their grip. Their absence could only be inferred from the pattern to either side, the small pyramid bumps rising from the flat steel with their crisp edges and flecks of paint. Holston lifted an old boot to an old step, pressed down, and did it again. He lost himself in what the untold years had done, the ablation of molecules and lives, layers and layers ground to fine dust. And he thought, not for the first time, that neither life nor staircase had been meant for such an existence. The tight confines of that long spiral, treading through the buried silo like a straw in a glass, had not been built for such abuse. Like much of their cylindrical home, it seemed, ellipses, to have been made for other purposes, for functions long since forgotten. What was now used as a thoroughfare for thousands of people moving up and down in repetitious daily cycles seemed more apt, in Holston's view, to be used only in emergencies and perhaps by mere dozens. Another floor went by, a pie-shaped division of dormitories. As Holston ascended the last 2 levels, his last climb he would ever take, the sounds of childlike delight rained down even louder from above. This was the laughter of youth, of souls who had not yet come to grips with where they lived, who did not yet feel the press of the earth on all sides, who in their minds were not buried at all, but alive. Alive and unworn, tripping happy sounds from the stairwell, trills that were incongruous with Holston's actions, his decision and determination to go outside. As he neared the upper level, one young voice ran out from above the others. And Holston remembered being a child in the silo, all the schooling and the games. Back then, the stuffy concrete cylinder had felt, with its floors and floors of apartments and workshops and hydroponic gardens and purification rooms, with their tangles of pipes, like a vast universe, a wide expanse one could never fully explore, a labyrinth he and his friends could get lost in forever. But those days were more than 50 years distant. Holston's childhood now felt like something 2 or 3 lifetimes ago, something someone else had enjoyed, not him. He had an entire life as sheriff weighing heavy, blocking off that past. And more recently, there was this third stage of his life, a secret life beyond childhood and being sheriff. It was the last layers of himself ground to dust. 3 years, spent silently waiting for what would never come, each day longer than any month from his happier times, his happier lifetimes. At the top of the spiral stairway, Holston's hand ran out of the railing. The curvy bar of worn steel ended as the stairwell emptied into the widest rooms of the entire silo complex, the cafeteria and the adjoining lounge. The playful squeals were level with him now. Darting bright shapes sagged between scattered chairs, playing chase. A handful of adults tried to contain the chaos. Holston saw Emma picking up scattered chalk and crayon from the stained tiles. Her husband, Clark, sat behind a table arranged with cups of juice and bowls of cornflour cookies. He waved at Holston from across the room. Holston didn't think to wave back, didn't have the energy or the desire. He looked past the adults and playing children to the blurry view beyond, projected on the cafeteria wall. It was the largest, uninterrupted vista of their inhospitable world, a morning scene. Dawn's dim light. Why is that blurry? Oh. Dawn's dim light coated lifeless hills that had hardly changed since Holston was a boy. They sat, just as they always had, while he had gone from playing chase among the cafeteria tables to whatever empty thing he was now. And beyond the stately rolling crests of these hills, the top of a familiar and rotting skyline caught the morning rays in feeble glints. Ancient glass and steel stood distantly where people, it was suspected, had once lived above ground. A child ejected from the group like a comet bumped into Holston's knees. He looked down and moved to touch the kid, Susan's boy, but just like a comet, the child was gone again, pulled back into the orbit of the others. I'm gonna get a drink. Hang on. Needed that. Okay. Holston thought suddenly of the lottery. He and Allison had won the year of her death. He still had the ticket. He carried it everywhere. One of these kids, maybe he or she would be 2 by now and tottering after the older children, could have been theirs. They had dreamed, like all parents do, of the double fortune of twins. They had tried, of course. After her implant was removed, they had spent night after glorious night trying to redeem that ticket, other parents wishing them luck, after lottery hopefuls silently praying for an empty year to pass. Knowing they only had a year, he and Allison had invented superstition into their lives, looking to anything for help. Tricks like hanging garlic over the bed that supposedly increase fertility. I thought that was supposed to keep the vampires away. But okay. 2 dimes under the mattress for twins. A pink ribbon in Allison's hair. Smudges. Ellipses. Smudges of blue dye under Holston's eyes. All of it ridiculous and desperate and fun. The only thing crazier would have been not to try everything, to leave some silly seance or tale untested. But it wasn't to be. Before their year was even out, the lottery had passed to another couple. It hadn't been for a lack of trying. It had been a lack of time, a sudden lack of wife. And I think I'm going to stop there. I realized that I've read a few of the words wrong. But if you're looking, you could probably read them yourself. And if not, you can hopefully still enjoy this. Didn't screw up too many times. And I hope you have a good night. Love ya, and I'll see you later. Bye.